All right, I'm here with Wilhelm Nebe, the big man, the intimidating colossal. How are you feeling in 2020?
Oh, I'm feeling great, Aiden. It's good to see you guys again. It's good training. I've been running so much more, just training harder, constantly pushing myself, and it's been a good experience. Especially since mid-January, it felt like I was hitting a new level. Ran better, felt better during sparring. So I'm feeling amazing.
2019, let's just go back quickly. We probably didn't see enough of you. I mean, obviously you cited, reasons for that, but 2020, will things be a little bit different?
Yes, much more different. It'll be different. I'll be training more constantly. Is that the word? Yeah, it's the right word.
Yeah.
I'm training more constantly and having a better program and sticking to a better program this year. Yeah, so you'll see a lot more of me this year.
Before I get to the fights, I listed you actually on the top 10 of the heaviest. You were in the top 10 of the heavy.
I saw that.
What did you make of that, and what did you make of the rest of the guys on the list?
It's very difficult discussing something like that when you have multiple divisions. I mean,
Yes.
South Africa doesn't really have the abundant divisions of big countries like the UK or America where you can do that in one division. So, that's more of a comparative to the other guys in the division. But as far as I saw and the reasons you gave, it was satisfying. I mean, I'm still early in my career. I didn't have a knockout in my last fight, otherwise I'm sure I would have been high on the list. But as far as I'm concerned, that was a well thought out, well researched and well opinionated list.
Well, thank you very much. You didn't get the knockout in your last fight. You wanted it. I know how badly you want knockouts. I know as a in fact, any heavyweight, but yourself particularly, you want knockouts.
Can't tell you,
Is this obviously the goal for this fight?
Yes, of course, definitely. There's no other way for me to go. I feel like I don't watch. I'm not on social media or anything, so this is just speculation. But I know what I would have said about someone like me having failed in getting a knockout on a guy that was 40 kilos lighter than him. So in my mind, I'm constantly hearing those voices, which is basically just me judging myself extremely harshly because I hold myself to an extremely high standard. And, so I'm just feeling out myself. Listen, I need to prove to myself that what happened was a fluke. That wasn't just, because it was. I'm not going to lie to myself. That's what it was. It was a fluke. I didn't knock him out. He came with a nullifying game plan. That was probably the best way to put it. And it worked. And I was too focused on, I tried to adjust on each fight, and that fight I was trying to adjust on being calmer in the fight and not just throwing a bunch of shots and waiting for one to land. And I think my decision in doing that, and then his decision in tying me up, that resulted in the 4-minute fight and the decision. So in the fight, I just need to be more adaptive and subject to change. I need to be able to change on the fly, so I shouldn't go in with a hard, solidified game plan and just do as the situation dictates.
As the fight went on, you did manage to knock him down with a solid right hand, as per usual. In saying that, he also, the Ukrainian guy that fought him previously also couldn't stop him, which was a highly rated amateur prospect. Do you ever look at that? I know you say you don't do much research and stuff, but do you look at that and say, actually, I didn't do such a bad job, but it's just maybe a lack of experience?
I would definitely say it's a lack of experience and fighting a guy that was coming at me with a different game plan, because this guy is a cruiserweight by trade. He's a cruiserweight, so they do box differently. I mean, I do see it during sparring with Justice, during sparring with Akane. There's so much of a gap in the style that they spar and the way that they approach different situations. So I think that was I was lacking. I was not expecting someone to come at me with such a style of movement and of fighting. And him being a cruiserweight gave him that edge that allowed him to stay alive and not just, because a lot of heavyweights everyone, self-including, thinks they have an amazing chin, and then they would try to tank punches, which is I want to show how manly I am, and you see this a lot. This happens a lot, a lot of and then that's how guys get hurt ultimately, because they just take punches and think they can take it. And I think because he's a cruiserweight, he knows not to take punches and not just stand there.
Especially from a guy 40 kilograms.
Opposed to my previous fights. I mean, I can't see my previous fights going any differently than this fight with Danny, if they also tied me out. I mean, it's the natural way a fight would progress. But because they were fighting with a heavyweight mentality, it allowed me to knock them out quicker, because they were like, okay, let's duke it out, let's square up. But then he was, okay, let's box. And yeah, I was lacking in adjusting to that. If I still got no doubt in my mind that if I just adjusted to that and saw, okay, he was doing this, he's going to do this, I would have done better and knocked him out. But because I didn't, because I was stubborn in my approach and I was adamant to just do the calm fighting, that caused me to go to the decision.
Well, now you got a guy, and I might butcher his name, Alec Gogodu. He's a little bit bigger. He's a heavyweight. He's fought Vladislav Serenko, as far as my mind can take me back, if my research is correct. And Serenko did stop him, but he also did pull up with a leg injury. So if this is the same guy I'm thinking about. In saying that, is this fight like just any other fight for you, or are you planning something specific?
No, sorry. I'm just working on myself. I don't see each fight as a major hurdle. It's just another step. Just got to go forward. I just got to improve. There's this old credo. I'm sure a lot of people know it, that are familiar with doing athletics. So I did a lot of athletics when I was in high school and primary school, and there was always this credo. They called it the athletes. I'm not even sure what they used to call it, but like it's this thing that like they used to say before every meet started. And then this one part always stuck with me. It says like in my greatest victory, or in victory I suffer my greatest defeat, and in defeat I suffer my greatest victory. It's basically like, maybe you may have lost today, but you did the best you've ever done. So for me, yeah, sure, of course the win would be great, and I don't want anything else but winning. That's all I want. That's all I can think about. I mean, I dream about this, I wake up, but this is all I think about. It's just I want to win. But then in saying that, it doesn't matter as long as you grow, as long as you learn. All of the greatest fighters, excluding Rocky Marciano, suffered losses. Joe Louis suffered a loss from oh my god, I cannot remember this guy's name. The German. Okay, just research the fight. 74 less 1 right hands. That's the fight that Joe Louis lost. But then he came back the next fight. He knocks him out in the first round. Nobody even cared about the loss. Manny Pacquiao lost. Nobody cares about his losses because he's amazing. Roberto Duran lost. Nobody cares about his losses because he's the best lightweight fighter that ever existed. So as long as you grow, as long as you just step past that and use that experience, it's not a loss. So for me, I'm not just thinking about the win. I'm thinking about the future. I'm thinking about how can I make myself a better fighter, because ultimately that's what I want to be. I want to be the greatest fighter that ever came out of South Africa, hands down, without a question, right? And to do that, I need to be focused on a future goal. So instead of being focused on one fight and just focusing on one fight at a time, I think about all the fights I'm doing and what would be the best to improve now that would yield exponential interest over the years. So for now at this moment, I'm focusing most on my fitness, because in the future that would yield the best interest for me and improve me better. But then, like I'm saying, I'm thinking about all of the fights, each one of them going up to my world title fight 10 years from now.
10 years?
10 years from now, I'm telling you. No, I'm thinking about every single fight I'm having to do and just working for that. So I'm not preparing for just one fight. I'm preparing for my next 50 fights all at the same time. So, and it might be for a lot of people be intimidating, but I know I'm playing the long game. I'm working on improving myself bit by bit. How do you eat an elephant? Bit by bit. Just bit by bit. You just have to start. If you never start, you're never going to go anywhere. So I'm just improving myself. But yeah, for this specific fight, I want to work on accuracy. That would be the best thing, I want to have a good percentage of punches landed.
All right, I'm not going to ask you if you're going to knock him out or if you're going to go to points, because in your mind, you're going to go out there and knock this guy out. I want to know how. And not the exact punch, but in which manner do you want to stop him?
I want to have a clean knockout, as in like Kobe Bryant bouncing his head off the floor like a basketball. That's what I have. Not stopping him on his legs, because I don't know. It's always, I don't know. It's always so hard. I'm not a ref.
Yeah.
I mean, the refs. I mean, it's literally his job to make sure you are safe in the ring. That's make sure you follow the rules and you protect yourself. That's what it does. And when the ref stops you, it's because he believes you can't continue any longer. But then again, like most of my fights were stopped, and they're like
You see TK.
kind of, yeah. So it's a TK, and it's like
Knockout.
I mean, that basically means he would have been knocked out, but he would have been hurt more than was necessary. So inaccuracy, something like Wilder, you know, like have one shot that just lands, or just a combination that lands, but just accurate shots, not just throwing punches hoping they would land.
Basically, something that Mike Tyson would do.
Yes. So, yeah. Okay, that's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty good comparison. This was just landing the shots, not just hoping they land. You know, intentionally landing them.
And then just lastly, do you have a message or a shout out to anybody?
Everyone that has had a hand in my training, helping me, my lovely wife, my parents, my brother. He always mocks me a lot, which motivates me. That's actually a big reason for me training very hard, because I know when I look stupid in the ring, I'm gonna hear it till the next fight from my brother making jokes.
Oh my word.
But you see, that's a good thing. That because it motivates you to not make mistakes. So just thanks for the family, thanks for everyone supporting me, coach, my sparring partners, just everyone, Marissa. It's always doing this, because you always forget someone, and then like one day someone says, oh yeah, I didn't something. Just thanks for everyone that has a hand with my life. If I saw you in the last 3 months, thank you.